Okay, hi my friends. Welcome. I hope you're having a good day. I have mixed feelings today. A good friend of ours just passed away this past Monday, and in the middle of this virus, the COVID outbreak, it's just been grueling. This man whose family is grieving right now. So I'm going to make a sympathy card. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a simple sympathy card, but I'm going to use some products that I've used before. In this card, I'm going to be using this embossing folder by Darris, and it already embeds with Sympathy, so I'm using that. Also, what I'm using, and I use this on another video, is these die cuts from Spellbinders. And these die cuts come in 2 different feathers. And the other day I used the plain one, but this card I'm going to be using that feather. So come on, work along with me. Here I've die cut these feathers on, I use a little bit of watercolor paper, but you can use whatever you want. And I've already embossed my cardstock that I want to use. Set that aside, and let's do a little bit of watercolor. So let's do the same color as my card there. So what I'm going to do is just wet my brush there. Now I'm not a watercolor person as such, but this is a simple way of making these feathers. I'm wetting that feather just a little bit, and I'm going to start with some just yellow. Wet that. Okay, I'm just going to dab that off, and let's start at the tip. What's good about watercolors is that they just flow, and if you start light and work to dark. Okay, well, let's do the other one too. Let's wet it. And at the same time as this friend passed away, my niece is about to give birth to her 4th baby. So it's both exciting and sad. Now, fortunately, her husband can be with her, but that's it. Okay, let's go in with a little bit of, I like this blue-green. You can use any colors you want. And let's just dab and see what happens. With watercolor and with feathers, you know. Peacock feathers, they all have different colors. Let's go on with that again. Just let that run whatever way you want. When the paper's wet, it's kind of neat watercolors. They can just, you can pick that up. Now I'm going to deepen. I'm going to go in with a bit of more yellow here. You can use whatever colors you want. Just I like that. Okay, let's do a bit of yellow here. There we go. And let's do a little bit more of that bluey green there. Okay, just let that flow. I think I wanted a bit more blue. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go to my palette here. Let's go with a bit of dark blue. Let's see what happens. Let's get a bit of water there to get it going. When I am making cards, I like to think of the person that I'm making them for. And as I am by myself, I find myself just praying for these people. This family that's gathering around the grave today, they can't get together because of the virus. Okay, let's just heat set this. With watercolor paper, when you do watercolors, it's okay to have bits of white showing through. Okay, so let's set that aside. There's our, now usually I like doing the shabby kind of cards, but with this card that I'm doing now, it's a sympathy card, so I want it plain but yet. So what I'm going to do with these feathers, in the bottom I put my sediment, my embossed sediment up here, and I'm just going to arrange these feathers whatever way I think is, okay. Do you have trouble with this? Never wants to work. There. Now. So what are you doing today? In your frustration, do you do something different? In your frustration, do you work in your craft room? I have tried to do something different every day. I find when you're creative, if you can do something with your hands, like this, it takes your mind. It's not, for me, it's like reading a book. Okay, there we go. Now, I have punched out a few of these little butterflies. I have a butterfly punch, and what I've done is just with ink or gold, or if you have, I'm gonna try, let's try this and see what this looks like. I had done this card with gold butterflies, but maybe we could try and do silver. So I got some silver paper. Let's see what this silver looks like. Okay. This is a simple card. A simple card. Yep, that's okay. So let's just let those butterflies fly over those feathers. You know what? It's the thought with cards. You can write something so personable in there to let people know that you care, and there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, before I do anything else, I think we need a little bit of gold, as always, so I'm going to use my ink here. Or if you have gold watercolor paint, you can do that. This all washes off. So I'm going to water it down. And when it's fairly wet, I'm just going to take my brush and just a few speckles, gold speckles there. As it dries, it'll go a bit lighter. And then what I'm going to do is just to jazz it up. I think I want this not to be so there. All right. I'm going to use glossy accents because I find that glossy accents actually, well, this will stick anything down. So I'm going to put a few pearls. So I'm waiting for this niece to have her baby. She already has 4 boys, and this is going to be a girl. Sorry, three boys. She's like me. So my sister's pretty excited because she's not. This will be the first granddaughter that she has. I have 3 sons. Then I had 2 grandsons. Then I had a granddaughter, and now I have and then another grandson. So they're all a blessing. I tell you, I love them so much. Okay, it's a very simple card. I don't want it too... Now, what I've found is that I have used gray cardstock as my base of my card. And I kind of like the border of the gray showing just a little bit. So let's glue that on. Okay, there. Now, what I think I'm going to do with this one, if I can find, yeah, I got a piece of paper here that's long, and let's see. I've got a border. This is Martha Stewart. I'm going to just okay. Now, let's give this a bit of a trim of that rough edge with my cutter here. And I'm going to just glue along here. Trim that off. And then you can just see that little bit of that, but when they open it up, and you could, and I will do that, I'll put a little bit of white cardstock in there, and trim that to the size I want. Yep. Glue that on to hold it. You could write your sentiment in there, rubber stamp a verse, a poem, and there you have a simple handmade sympathy card made especially for my friend. So I hope you learned something today. Subscribe if you'd like. And you have a wonderful day. God bless.